Hello and welcome to the December 12th Michigan Financial Wellness Network Partner Coffee Chat on this blustery winter day. I know the roads are not great and there were some school cancellations. The west side of the state got hit. Southeast Michigan, it's just slippery and windy and cold, not too much accumulation. But we're going to proceed with our meeting this morning, and we are recording it so that those who are unable to join us live this morning can watch the recording on demand. So I do have a few updates, and then we're going to hear from MSUE and anyone else that has things that they need to share for our final gathering of the calendar year. It seems so strange to say that, but here we are, end of December. Our next dates are January 14th, February 12th, and March 13th. Those are on the calendar, and I have moved the day around just because some folks have said, Wednesdays are great for them, and Thursdays sometimes work. So be sure and check your calendar. We're not following the always on a certain day of the week, so just make sure you look at those dates and get them on your calendar. Some are Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays. With that, I have a few updates. We're going to just go through our flagship initiatives. We're still seeking sponsors for our next cycle. I do have some updates from partners that we're going to do, and then be sure again, put those upcoming meetings on your calendar. We do have a guest speaker for our January 14th meeting. One of the suggestions for future topics was kind of a reintroduction to the resources available through Michigan State University Extension. So we're going to have them on our as part of our call on January 14th, which is a Tuesday. Okay, so FemPreneur Summit, we have the date secured. It will be at the same location on the border of Northville and Livonia. Great parking, great space. March 19th is the date, and Funding the Future, I have a little update on that. Our Smart Money Kids Read is going well, and then the Smart Money Magic Show, we are still seeking sponsorship for that. So FemPreneur Summit, as I said, is March 19th, and it's Fem-powered. Our theme is money, marketing, and mindset. We have one sponsor, Lake Trust Credit Union, but we have lots of options for additional sponsorships. If you're interested, please let me know, and I will send you the underwriting guide. Exhibitor registration will open soon. So for those who are familiar with our FemPreneur Summit, it is for female entrepreneurs, and it could be from those who are still in concept phase all the way up to second stage companies who've been in business for 20 years. We have lots of relationship building built in. Based on feedback from previous years, we are kind of flipping. If you know about like a flipped classroom, we're going to flip the way that we do content this year, which is we're really excited about. So we're going to have expert panels available, but we're going to feed them the topics that we gather from the room. So we're going to do a lot of work around small tables, which will help with a number of things, including relationships, deepening relationships, making sure that there are, attendees are meeting other attendees in meaningful ways. So instead of just sitting quietly around a table, listening to a panel, we're actually going to do work around the table and then serve up the top 2 or 3 concerns or challenges that are being experienced by the women in the room. And we're going to serve those up to our panelists to respond to provide insight, guidance, resources. So instead of us guessing what topics are on the minds of female entrepreneurs, we're actually going to utilize the women in the room to kind of identify what those are and then have our panelists respond to those specifically. So I think it's going to be really meaningful on a lot of levels. And that means we're going to need facilitators for probably 20 groups is my guess. So we're working on a list of facilitators. If you or someone feel that you would be good in that role, please reach out to me and we'll add you to our list of, to be considered. And then the marketplace has, as you know, grown over the years to where it houses both a lifestyle marketplace and a B2B marketplace. So registration for exhibitors will open soon. I'm just finalizing a few details. And we do make every every best effort to reduce duplication so that we don't promise exclusivity, but we work really, really hard not to have direct competition or duplication in the marketplace. So those are the updates for the FemPreneur Summit. Stay tuned. We've got some exciting things planned for this year. Our Funding the Future initiative, this is the updated schedule of what we already have booked for the spring tour. Carter Halsey will be in Michigan March 31st through April 4th. And actually, as of November or December, here's the schedule. We have openings on March 31st and on April 4th. Those two are both open. The other three are confirmed, and it is possible to do a second show on those dates of April 1, 2, and 3 if they're in proximity to the shows that are already scheduled, if that makes sense. So if we do an 8:45 show in Rochester Hills, it's conceivable that we could do a 1 o'clock show, let's say, in Auburn Hills or something. But we wouldn't be able to go from Rochester Hills to, say, probably like Belleville or, further away. So if anyone has relationships in middle or high schools here in Michigan and are interested in having us reach out to the scheduler for Funding the Future, you can always, reach out to me and then I can make that connection. And we're also always looking for underwriting partners to fund this program as well. Okay, so our Smart Money Michigan Kids Read, we are on track. I've had recent meetings with the publisher to make sure that things are on schedule. Based on the robust feedback that I received from participating librarians last year, we have chosen a little bit of a younger reader book. We loved the original productions. Everyone enjoyed Owl and Otter series. However, it was a little bit more mature than some of the standard story times that our libraries typically host. So we've gone back to the Cinders McLeod book of Save It, which I love this story because it also talks about earning money. So there's an entrepreneurship piece there, but then there's this the challenge that Honey, the lead character, has is she babysits for her younger siblings, so she has earned income, and then she wants to purchase her own house, which obviously she's not financially capable of doing, but she comes up with an alternative of purchasing a playhouse where she can have her own quiet space for some peace after, watching her 5 very bouncy siblings. So she can earn and save her money, still spend some of it, and still accomplish her goals. So there's a budgeting piece in here as well. So there's both earning and saving and prioritizing your wants within the story. And as of this week, we have 120 libraries already committed that have requested 6,500 copies, but I still have about 1,500 copies available. So if any, or just under 2,000 copies. So public librarians that participate in the interlibrary delivery system who would like to request copies of our book to do a money-themed story time or event or multiple things in the month of April, all they need to do is fill out the request form and they'll receive the number of copies that they need. Some libraries only need 10 copies, and that's fine. Other libraries that have 22 locations might need 400 copies, and all of that is okay, and everything in between. So I've also started working on an activity supplement, which our partners have said that they really appreciate. That's one of the top things that our library partners have said they enjoy about this program. Of course, after being able to give books away to kids to keep, that's obviously their favorite part of this. But the activity supplement will have things like printables where they can do cutouts and make popsicle puppets to like reenact the story. The money sheet is very popular where, librarians can duplicate and kids can cut out and maybe use the money to buy their snack or whatnot. So I'm working on the activity supplement. That is going to be a digital file that I email out to participating librarians and our partner credit unions. And then 2 important things for the calendar. If you are a hosting librarian, we have our deep dive Zoom scheduled for 1 o'clock on January 16th. And you do need to register for that. So if you haven't seen the link for the Zoom registration, just email me at mifinancialwellness fempreneursummit@gmail.com, and I will send that to you. Credit union partners, we're doing a deep dive Zoom for you at 2 o'clock on Valentine's Day. So we can spend a little bit of Valentine's Day together. Again, registration is required. Both of those Zooms are set up. And if you haven't seen the registration link yet, just email me and I will happily send it to you. We are scheduled to do the master shipment breakdown and repacking for distribution from Novi, and we hope to have those books on the delivery trucks on March 3rd. So that's a Monday. So however long it normally takes your deliveries to get to you from wherever you are from Novi, you can anticipate when you should receive your copies of this year's book, Save It by Cinders McLeod. And we do ask that as much programming as possible can happen during Financial Literacy Month this April. So if anyone has questions about, I know there's a lot of detail there, feel free to give me a shout and I'm happy to talk it through with you. Oh, if you are a credit union partner and you are wondering if your partner libraries have already requested copies of the book, you can email me the name of the library, where it's located, and I will look at the request list and I can let you know if they've already requested their copies or not. That way you know who to reach out to and who to, they've got it, right? So if you are a credit union hoping to partner with your local libraries and you don't know whether or not they've already secured copies of the book, just email me the information and I will look it up for you. So this year's book, Save It, is a charming introduction to simple money concepts in which a little bunny named Honey learns about the power and satisfaction that come with earning and saving money. And the concepts in here, so if you want to start noodling on your programming, there's earning, goal setting, saving, planning, and then prioritizing your wants. It's not just wants versus needs in this book. She has to prioritize, well, how much do I want to get that playhouse with? I still want to go to the movies or buy ice cream, right? So she has to prioritize what her wants are. And there are many ways to come at that, as you know. We don't call it budgeting in this book, but it really is kind of a saving and spending plan that she goes through in this process. And it's actually could be aged up quite a bit for those who are wanting to do this program with, say, first and second graders. The story is young, right? It's not a lot of words on a page, but the concepts can very easily be made useful when you're working with an older audience. So for example, here's one of the pages where she does kind of if I earn 2 carrots a week, but I save them all, then I have nothing to spend and I can get to my goal in 5 weeks. Well, but that doesn't sound like much fun because she can't go to the movies then, right? She wouldn't have any money to save. So she can't go to the movies or get ice cream. So she comes up with a different plan. So if I take 10 weeks, I can earn my 2 carrots a week. And what if I save one and then I spend one? I can still have fun along the way and just get to my goal in 10 weeks instead of 5. So you can do a lot with that for an older audience, well beyond the 3 to 5-year-old that many story times focus on. Okay, so our Smart Money Magic show right now, sadly, is without a sponsor. So the good news is the Michigan Credit Union Foundation has said that they would be willing and interested in co-sponsoring the magic show to go out to elementary schools. It's geared for kindergarten through 5th graders. We typically do it in a school-wide assembly format. You can see in the picture there, we've done it for anywhere from 200 to 700 children in an auditorium or in a gymnasium. And it's very engaging. It's very fun. It introduces through, 5-minute segments in a 45-minute show. Each one of those little segments focuses on things like earning or saving or investing. There's a wants versus needs segment, goods and services, supply and demand. And it's participatory and it's fun. The students love it. The staff loves it. And so there's a sponsorship opportunity here. Michigan Credit Union Foundation has said that they would be interested in a co-sponsorship. So if we have any credit unions out there that would like to do this in, kind of a large footprint, in the past, we've done as many as 25. I think the peak year we did 30 shows over the course of, the end of March through early June, most of them happening in April and May, but we do have flexibility. Since we're not limited to just that 8-day period we used to be, or just the month of April. So a lot of schools have chosen to host it in May because that gets them outside of their standardized testing requirements. So if you would like to know more, please reach out to me. The last time we did this, we had a budget of $30,000 and we weren't able to do like 30 shows. But we could do it with a $20,000 commitment or a $15,000 commitment, again, shared with the Credit Union Foundation. So that's kind of what we're looking for. All right, so I'm going to hit the pause for my mic and I'm going to ask Deb, can you hear me? Do you want to unmute? Is there any questions that you have? And then Lori, I'm going to ask you to give a little bit of what's on the horizon with MSUE, but I want to give Deb a chance to ask any questions or chime in on anything that I shared so far, or that you have questions about. And she might not be able to unmute depending on how she's joining us today.
Hi, were you talking to me?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, I have to open the library on Thursday morning, so I thought, well, this might work better than the phone last time.
Right.
Giving
So
everybody dizzy. So anyways, but yeah.
do you have any questions or comments or anything that, problem solving that you want us to do with you?
No, I'm just excited about the book choice and things like that. So, and that we have a local credit union that has been very involved the last few years. So I'm hoping the same again this year. So
Awesome. So, Deb, since you've been consistently participating in this meeting, I'm wondering, do you have a copy of Save It that you
I
have
don't.
access to?
I don't.
Okay, so I'm wondering,
Because we didn't do it. Apparently, we weren't involved when you did it a few years ago.
right, yeah, because we used this book 5 years ago. So now we know all the kids have cycled out. So it'll be like new and fresh to the children who would be in your story times now. But I'm just wondering, because I've started working on the activity supplement, and I'd love to get some, feedback from some of my library partners, and I think you'd be a good one. Is it possible for you to borrow a copy
I
from
will
through?
look into that today, this morning even, and see if I can borrow from another library. I'm sure that,
Yeah. Or this is a great series you could add to your collection. I mean,
okay.
there's 4 books in the series. So there's Earn It, Spend It, Save It, and Give It.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so it
That's a
might
good
be kind
idea
of
too.
a good, to have in your collection if you have a budget for it, of course. But
Yep.
but if you had the book and I gave you a copy of the draft of the activity supplement that I'm working on, I'd love for some feedback from the end user, right? Like you will be the person who's going to be doing it. And I'd love to have that feedback before I do the deep dive in January with all of our participating librarians. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I will look
And since
today then and see if I can get them ordered.
that would
So,
be great. And then if you can let me know, like when you think you might have the book in hand, then it'll give me an idea when I need to get you the draft of the supplement
okay.
to look at and see if I'm on mark with how you would use it in the book, with the book.
Okay. Sounds good.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Kelly, if you
Great.
want another review or like feedback, feel free to send to me as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, just as like an outsider who looking at it, I do a lot of reviewing and peer editing of people's stuff. So
Cool. Now, would you have access to the book?
I don't, but I probably could get it. I mean,
Yeah. Well, why don't you check and see? I mean, I don't know where do you live where do you live?
I live in Grosse Pointe.
In Grosse Pointe. Okay, so the Grosse Pointe Library is a great partner, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah. Yeah. So they probably have it if I were to just
Or
get
can
it
get
from
it
the
for
library.
you. Yeah. So thank you. Yeah. Okay. So are there things, thanks Deb for agreeing to be part of my task force. Um, Lori, do you have things that you want to share that are more time sensitive that we need to, get out there before our January 14th deep dive?
Yeah, I would say there's a few things that are on the horizon for 2025 that are really good to talk about.
Mhm.
So first of all, we have our Adulting 101 series that starts again in January for 2025. So that series, we have a session every month, and they are on various topics that are helping young people, young adults, teens kind of prepare for the future. A lot of great topics that we have on that radar. So the first one is actually going to be on stressing less with mindfulness. That's the one in January. But we have topics on getting organized, medical insurance, wealth building, staying safe in public places and out in nature, international travel on a budget, meal planning, handling peer pressure, a holiday budget, and navigating tough conversations. So a lot of great topics. When people register, they can register for whatever topics they're interested in. But since the first one is in January, it's good to get that out there so people have that on their radar.
Yeah, what is the January
The
date? Do you know?
January one is Tuesday, January 14th. So it's actually the same day as our meeting. So
Okay. And those are those typically in the evening or
yes, they are
okay.
typically in the evening, anywhere from the earliest is I think at 5 and or 4 o'clock in the summertime, and then
Mhm.
anywhere to like 6:30, 7, anything. They change the day of the week, and the time changes every month. So it's really important to look at the calendar and put those on people's calendar if they're interested. They are free, and they're about a 1 hour webinar on Zoom. We do record them as well, and so the recordings are available on our website. They're usually available for at least a few months after the date of the original recording, so people can go back and look at those, especially if they were interested and missed it, or had to miss part of it, or want to rewatch. So
Mm. And where would people find the details for this? I know the web where it's lived, like the registration link where it has lived has changed over the years. So where would people find it?
yeah, so we actually have a whole website that is just on Adulting 101 on MSU Extension's website. So if you search for MSU Extension 4-H Adulting 101, you will get a website where you can see all the classes, the past recordings, articles that are related to the topics. So a lot of great information there. So
Okay.
I can put that link in the chat. It's just
Yes, would you?
yeah, it is just our College of Ag and Natural Resources. So it's www.canr.msu.edu/adulting 101.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then the other program that's coming up is our cash composition contest. So we have that is a writing contest for young people ages 9 to 19. We have 2 age brackets that are able to enter and potentially win a $100 gift card to Amazon that is sponsored by Extra Credit Union. So we appreciate them. So the 2 age brackets are 9 to 13 and 14 to 19. This essay contest is this year's topic is actually on credit. So we're going to have a couple webinars one in January, one in February to help provide some education. But we also have a lot of self-guided or, personal learning that young people can do around the topic of credit. And the essay question is on our website, and the essays are due February 28th. So there is, a good couple months to learn about credit and write that essay and submit it. And I think those are some of the big pieces there. When young people write those essays and when you're registering, you're actually submitting your essay at the same time. So don't register until your essay is done. That would be my recommendation.
Got it. So there used to be a second contest. Is that no more?
Yeah, so we're probably not going to hold the Show Your Money Smarts contest this
Okay.
year. We're actually looking to potentially do something different and do a goose chase activity. So that's an interactive app-based scavenger hunt,
Mm,
and we're looking that might do that because we can expand our audience a little bit
right.
for participation and have it be a little bit more interactive than what the past contest used to be. So we are still in the brainstorming, setting up kind of idea of that process, but yeah, so that the old Show Your Money Smarts contest probably will not happen this year.
Gotcha. Okay. And it was kind of, I think that's okay, right? We evolve. The more we learn, we evolve and update things and change the way we do things. And it was sometimes hard to explain the cash composition contest and then the Show Your Money Smarts contest and to distinguish between the two. And so, yeah, so we do something new this year.
Exactly. We're going to try something else. And then the other thing I just want to share about, just because it's a project that I'm directly involved in right now, it's not specifically financially related, it's careers related, but we have a partnership with Toyota Research and Development to do a webinar series on, in particular, skilled trade opportunities and some of the skills and paths that young people can take, especially around apprenticeships. So we have a series that we're going to be offering of webinars again from January through May of next year. 3 of them will focus specifically on apprenticeship and skilled trades and some of those experiences, hearing directly from the young people or professionals who have chosen those career paths. And then 2 of the webinars will be on career skill building. So we've
Mhm.
got one on interviewing and one on professionalism. So the
Hmm.
whole series is, if young people attend, or anyone really attends all 5 of the webinars, which will also be recorded, they attend all 5 live or recorded, they will receive an incentive from Toyota Research and Development. So pretty cool program, and pretty neat opportunity to showcase a career path that maybe people don't know a lot about and can learn more about as well.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Um, so question, that project with Toyota Research and Development, is that like they're taking the lead on that, or is MSUE taking the lead on that and just featuring them in it?
Yeah, a little of both. So they had an interest in this, and sharing more about these opportunities in the past, and the apprenticeship program in particular. And they reached out with us to determine a way that would be, positive for sharing it, include some career skill building, be available to a wide audience. The apprentice program that they're involved in, here in Michigan, is actually based out of Washtenaw Community College, but there are 13 of those other programs across the country. So there's other places that people could do a similar type experience. And then the apprenticeship program also it goes to other locations outside of just Toyota. So there's a lot of cool career paths that can come out of it as well. So once, like anything, once you've learned some of this knowledge, there's so many places that you're able to apply the
Mhm.
education that you've received.
So is that for, there's a reason I have questions about this.
Sure.
So is that webinar series for people who are already graduated from high school, or is it for students maybe who are still in high school, but are doing kind of a career and technical path or considering the career and tech path? Or is it only for people who are already out of high school?
So originally when we had the conversation, their target audience was more of like the middle and high school age range. But as
Okay.
we've discussed more, they are very open to anyone who has any interest in this. So I'm saying it's for sort of that maybe high school age recent graduates, or it could be they definitely have people in this program who have gone for a second career or changed careers
Yeah.
as well. So it
Okay.
is really, so that's where, when even talking about incentives, we originally had a discussion about young people, and we ended up extending it to really anyone who attends all of the webinars, because anyone can choose to obtain this education and either do this career path or learn take part in the apprenticeship experience as well. So
Okay. So if you'd like, I have a few connections to career and technical schools, programs that are connected with my home school district.
yeah,
If you
that'd be
want to
lovely.
send me an email with nothing in it except that,
Yep.
that'll make it easy for me to forward on to a few folks.
Perfect.
That, you know, Wayne County, at least our school district, has a relationship with a couple of the larger career and technical centers that are open to all of Wayne County, right? All Wayne County schools.
Yep. Yep.
And maybe you already have a connection there, but maybe you don't. And I'd be happy to forward it on to our high school's like connector, like the person who is the conduit between the students interested and the technical centers, and send
Yep.
it to them because they know which students, like this week they just did tours of both of those centers with interested students from our high school.
Yes.
So if you just send me an email with, you know,
Sure will.
whatever attachments or links or,
Yep.
you know, to the web page or whatever, just put only that in it and then I
Yep.
can forward it along.
Yeah, so it actually just opened, everything just opened for registration yesterday. So that's actually my goal over the next, either today, tomorrow, or early next week, is to send all those out to anyone who might have connections and people. So I appreciate that, Kelly, because
Yeah,
that's on my list. I've got my list of who I need to send it to, and I'm going to
right.
be adding you to the list
Okay,
to
good.
help get that moving forward. The first one of that series is January 23rd. So there's a little bit more time, but yes, it will come up pretty quickly in January after the holidays. And we definitely want people to be aware of the whole series. They can catch the webinar, but that first one's going to actually have 3 young people who have been in, or who are in their first year of this apprenticeship program, and I got to meet them and go to their robotics lab last Friday, and it was and see their presentations for their end of their semester presentations, and it was very, very cool. So it's
Neat.
be great for people to join and meet them live for sure.
Yeah, no, I love that. I would gladly share that with, you know, I mean, I don't have a ton of contacts in this space, but I have
Sure.
a few.
Yeah.
And then they
Yeah.
can share it with people that they know, right? That's how this
Exactly. That's
works. The
how it
beauty
works.
of
That's
it.
how it works.
All
Cool.
right.
So those are some
So,
of the big things I was thinking of right now that come up really quickly
right.
in the new year, and I think it's helpful to have that in your mind as people are sharing things. So
Yeah.
thanks, Kelly, for letting me share and for passing on as well. So also, just I did send you an email. We do have a job posting for an adult financial program instructor for Macomb and Oakland area. So if anyone knows somebody, that's
Okay.
open right now. So
All right. That's good to know. Um, so thank you for that. And oh, I see that Nanette is joining. Um, do you want to unmute, Nanette, and tell us who you are and where you're from, and if you're joining with specific questions or if you have any challenges that you're looking for help with? Are you able to unmute? I don't want to cut you off. We were just kind of wrapping up. So if you all look at your screen, we have, again, just to remind everyone, the dates for going into the first of the year, because some folks have like fixed conflicts. They can never make it on Wednesdays or, things of that nature. So going into the first of the year, I'm going back to what we used to do, which is kind of move the meeting around a little bit so that folks who can never make it on a particular day of the week might be able to at least pop in periodically. And we do always provide the recordings, which has proven to be very useful for folks. So the upcoming dates we have scheduled are Tuesday, January 14th, Wednesday, February 12th, and Thursday, March 13th. And that's for the general partner coffee chats. And then we have a couple other more focused Zooms scheduled for our Smart Money Kids Read, for the librarians, and then a different one for our credit union partners. And I already gave those dates. So on the left, you'll see the suggestions for future topics, and we've been able to do many of them. So AI in financial literacy, we did that a couple months ago. We did a deep dive on SmartPath a couple months ago. The personal finance law, we discussed that 2 months ago. Still haven't done the student-run credit union piece, so we might, look at doing that one. A suggestion was made that we revisit or kind of like get reintroduced to Michigan State University Extension and 4-H and what they offer. So Lori and Kathy have agreed to do a bit of a reintroduction for us on January 14th. So that's during our standard monthly meeting, but I do like to have other people speaking in the meetings so that we all can, continue to learn and know what resources are available and build those connections. So be sure to tune in January 14th when we're going to hear from MSUE. Before I adjourn us for the day and give everybody a little bit of their time back, an extra 15 minutes of your life. Again, Nanette, is there anything that you want to unmute and either share or questions that you have that you came here for today?
Not at this time. I missed most of it.
Right. So just tell us what organization you're with.
St. Charles District Library.
Right. Okay. So you're probably here to learn about the Smart Money Kids Read.
Correct.
Okay. So we have, I did go over a little bit of the details earlier. And so this recording, you can zoom into just that segment if you'd like. And I'm going to stop sharing real quick.
So you're sending out the recording then?
Yes, I will.
Okay,
I will send out
perfect.
the recording. And
for some reason, I
happy.
thought it started at 9, so I apologize.
Well, I made a mistake when I set up this meeting and it was scheduled for 11 o'clock. We've never done these meetings at 11 o'clock. So I ended up having to do a resend. So it was, my fault too. But if you have a minute, I'm happy to stay on the line and I can talk you through things and we can just let Deb and Lori go and everyone else. And then you can, ask me whatever you'd like.
Sure, whatever works for them.
That sounds good. I will see everybody on January 14th. I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday season and a safe New Year celebration, whatever it is that you do. And I'm always here by email, mifinancialwellness@gmail.com if anyone needs anything before January 14th. Thanks all.